Welcome to our Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games.
Yep, we're gonna bundle these together because we don't have that many.
And we don't really play them.
No, not a big handheld.
There's not
fan.
even really anything really. Well, there might be one or two games that are decent, but most of them are like dollar bin stuff.
Yeah, most of them we just kind of ended up picking up or getting it in a bundle or.
Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of go through these and just.
Yep.
Napco Museum. Don't know what's on them, but I'm sure it's some Napco games.
We got Kirby's Pinball Land, which pinball game.
M&M Blast, which is like, I guess, the Mario Party for M&M's or something like that, I think. Right? Does anybody remember playing that?
These ones are my girlfriend's games. We got Barbie's Pet Rescue, and then The Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley. I don't know anything about them.
That's not true. One of them's Barbie and one of them's Mary Kate and Ashley game.
Okay, the name says it all.
GT GT Advanced Championship Racing. If you're into that kind of stuff.
F1 Race, which is another racing game.
Duel Masters.
Isn't that the one that
Senpai?
let me see. Senpai Legends.
Yeah. Which actually, this game has pretty good graphics. I was impressed when I loaded it in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll just throw in this along with it. This is another Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy, which it's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mm-hmm. And then we have Tetris 2, which was this released on anything else? I'm not sure if it was. It's a weird game. I enjoy Tetris, but I don't enjoy Tetris 2. It's kind of like Dr. Mario. It's kind of the vibe I get from it. I'm not a Dr. Mario fan, so not my cup of tea.
Alright. Techno Bowl. I thought it was an okay game on the NES. Never played it on this. Oh, it's for the Game Boy.
I got these pretty cheap at yard sales. They're the Pokemon Gold version, which the battery doesn't really work in it, so you can't save, which is a normal thing to happen in them.
Right.
Really easy to change out. And then Pokemon Red, which is in the best condition out of these ones. And these are pretty pricey little Pokemon games. People really enjoy them. I'm not a big Pokemon fan, but
you don't want to catch them all?
I don't know, what can I say?
Disappointed in you. Very disappointed. Alright. Looney Tunes. It's a Looney Tunes game. Yeah. What is there to say?
Yeah. And then pretty much the only Game Boy game that I would play, and this one I intentionally picked up, was Metroid 2, The Return of Samus, which was only released on the Game Boy, which is, I don't know, weird. kind of an odd thing for them to do, since how Metroid did really good on the NES. And
I'm not really sure on numbers it did, like how it sold.
yeah, I'm not sure if it. But another interesting thing, I don't know if you knew this. The person do you know who came up with Metroid? Who created Metroid?
I don't know his name, but I might have heard. I might have heard what you're about to say because I watched like the history of Metroid on a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Then yeah, you know, Gunpei Yokoi is the person who came up with Metroid. He's also the person that created the Game Boy.
Okay, yeah.
Gunpei Yokoi was the developer of the Game Boy, and he also came up with Metroid. So I mean,
yeah.
I've watched that video too, and as it said, might have been like favoritism to bring it onto the Game Boy, since it was the character he made. Not a bad little game. I'm not a fan of like the Game Boy's monochromatic, you know, green and everything. But basically, one of the reasons basically the reason I picked this up is because it's Metroid 2. I want to play through all the Metroids at some point, but plug in a Super Game Boy, plug this into the Super Nintendo, and that's how I would recommend playing it.
I actually played through Metroid on the NES here within the last 2 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was kind of, I played through it and he watched.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. I mean, I haven't played Metroid before then, so it's not like I played Super Metroid then played the regular Metroid for the first time. Since I'm playing them in order, kind of, you really get to kind of appreciate what it is.
Yeah, and same with me. I mean, I briefly touched Metroid Prime when I had it as a kid. Never really got into it, but I really do want to go through the whole Metroid series because honestly, it's really cool. You know, for an NES game to have like the story that Metroid did.
Right.
Metroid had a really pretty in-depth story for an NES game.
Yeah.
You know, laid out in the booklet, and you know, it wasn't just you plug it in and play. You had to search for your items. You had to go through and.
Right.
And that's why I really want to go through the Metroid series because it looks very fun, and I enjoy it.
Why didn't we do that as the last one?
I don't know.
Because now we're gonna send off for the Game Boy Color.
Ooh.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Yeah. I think I'll stick with the PlayStation version. Just saying. And that is our wonderful Game Boy collection.